You keep praying, but heaven feels silent, and deep down you've started to wonder if God is even listening. But the real question isn't whether God hears you. It's what your unanswered prayers are actually revealing about your heart, your motives, and your obedience. The truth is, one of the most shocking reasons your prayers aren't being answered is because your heart is out of alignment with what you're asking for. James chapter 4 verse 3 says, "You ask and do not receive, because you ask with wrong motives." And what makes this more dangerous is that you can still look spiritual on the outside while secretly harboring pride, unforgiveness, or a desire to use God's blessings to impress people rather than glorify Him. Sometimes you're asking for things that would crush you if God gave them to you prematurely. And His silence is actually protection, not rejection. You say you want breakthrough, but would you still chase Him if He said, "Wait"? Some of you are asking God to open doors when you haven't even shut the ones He told you to walk away from, like that toxic relationship, the secret sin, or the job you know is draining your spirit. Isaiah chapter 59 verse 2 warns us that unrepented sin creates a separation between us and God. And while the enemy wants you to believe God has abandoned you, the truth is, it's disobedience that dulls your spiritual hearing. And here's the warning most people ignore. God is not obligated to answer prayers that are rooted in rebellion, no matter how loud or consistent they are. Prayer is not a magic formula, it's a conversation born from relationship. And without intimacy, the words you speak are empty echoes. Another reason your prayers go unanswered is because you've stopped praying from a place of faith and started praying from fear. Mark chapter 11 verse 24 tells us to believe we have already received what we asked for. But fear conditions you to expect disappointment instead of victory. And maybe no one told you this, but delays don't always mean denial. Sometimes God is building your endurance because what He has for you requires maturity, not just desire. If He gave it to you now, your character might not be ready to carry the weight of the blessing. Some prayers aren't answered yet because you're still trying to do it all in your own strength, when the breakthrough God wants to give you requires complete surrender. This is why Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6 tells us to lean not on our own understanding. And here's the part nobody preaches. Some of your unanswered prayers are because God already did answer. You just didn't like His answer. He closed the door, but you kept banging on it. He said no, but you called it a delay. He moved the person out of your life, but you tried to drag them back. The silence you feel might not be abandonment. It might be God waiting for you to actually listen. Sometimes He's quiet not because He's far, but because He's already spoken and now He's watching to see if you'll obey. And for those who feel spiritually numb and exhausted, the lack of answered prayer could be because you're pouring out, but not pouring in. You're feeding others, encouraging others, praying for others, but you haven't let God restore you in private. Your prayer life isn't supposed to be a performance, it's a lifeline. And without connection to the vine, you can't bear fruit. John chapter 15 verse 5. You've got to stop praying at God and start praying with Him, inviting His Spirit to search you, correct you, and align your desires with His will. So if it feels like your prayers are going nowhere, ask yourself, am I praying from faith or fear? Am I obeying what He already said? Am I harboring unforgiveness that's blocking heaven's flow? Am I trying to use God or truly walking with Him? Because when those things shift, everything changes. And when your motives are pure, your heart is surrendered, and your spirit is tuned into Him, you won't just pray louder. You'll pray clearer, and you'll realize the silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation for a deeper encounter.